Hey everyone, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Alexis. I'm a relationships and energy coach, and this workshop is all about setting boundaries. So it's going to go for less than 90 minutes, and it was meant to be 90 minutes, but it's going to be less than 90 minutes now. And this is all about self-love in relationships. It's about transforming the most important relationship in your entire life, which is your relationship with, take a guess, type in the chat box. Now, my workshops are all about having loads and loads of fun, being very, very interactive. So get ready to participate, get ready to type in the chat box, get ready to take lots of notes, because everything that I give is going to be practical, add value content. It's going to be content that you can use, practical tools and tips that you can use in your life and you can teach others, because I am all about teaching a man or a woman how to fish, right? So I want to know, are you ready? Are you prepared? And if you're ready and you're prepared, this means three things. This means that you're going to give yourself the time, effort, and energy to put yourself first for the next 80 minutes. The second thing is you have a notebook and a pen ready. And the third thing is that you're open, ready, and willing and committed to receiving and learning to improve yourself and your life. So type a yes if you're ready for all of those things, because then I know that you're in the right place. And my biggest thing is I don't want to waste anybody's energy or anybody's time, because your time and your energy is your most precious resource. I'm seeing lots of yeses and C's. I'm super excited about that. If you're trying to guess where my accent's from, I'm not American. I'm not English. I'm not Canadian. I'm from down under. So type in the chat box if you can guess where down under means. So that way you can put it out of your heads if you're trying to guess where I'm from. Yes, I'm an Aussie. So I'm Australian, currently living in Barcelona. All right. So I'm seeing lots of readies and lots of yeses, which means we're ready to get going. We're ready to get started. So I am very, very excited for you, because I know that the content in this workshop is going to absolutely transform and change your life, right? My tagline, my name is Transform with Alexis, because that's my mission. That's my purpose. I want to be a channel and a vessel for you to absolutely change, completely up-level your life, because I know what it's like to be a massive people pleaser. I know what it's like to put everybody else first. I know what it's like to not even know what boundaries is, and not even know how to love myself. I know what it's like to hate myself. I know what it's like to be in suicidal depression, wishing that my life was different, from the way I looked, to what I was doing with my job, to my relationships, to everything. My dark night of the soul was for a few years, and it was so shit. It was like severe anxiety, it was suicidal depression, and for most of my life, so over 30 years of my life, I hated myself, and I wished that I was someone different, and I felt incredibly trapped and stuck and just not wanting to be here at all. And what happens when you're in that space is that you become a doormat. You become a doormat for everybody else in your life, because you feel like the only way for you to start to, I guess, earn love or be loved or feel like you're loved is being able to really, really love everybody else and try to make everybody else in your life happy, because you're so sensitive and you really want to help other people. So type a yes if any of this resonates with you. And if any of this resonates with you, I want you to know that you're not alone. I want you to know that there is, and you can see the yeses flooding into the chat box right now. I want you to know that there are, as you can see by the amount of people here, that there are nearly 70 people so far and counting that feel exactly the same way that you do. Don't want to rock the boat. Absolutely. Very sensitive, scared of conflict, people pleasing, toxic relationships, whatever, right? So you're not alone. You're in this beautiful community of all these people that feel exactly the same way that you do. Because let me tell you right now that everybody has the same fear. Everybody has the same fear, right? And this is something to start writing down right now. We all have root cause beliefs. And those root cause beliefs keep us stuck. And they keep us stuck in toxic relationships. They keep us stuck in people pleasing. They keep us stuck in putting everybody else first. They keep us stuck in doing jobs that we don't like. They keep us stuck in putting up with shit that we don't want and we don't deserve. But they keep us stuck because they're the stories that we tell ourselves over and over and over again. And those stories become our reality. Those stories become our truths. And those stories become our familiar. And what we do is we get conditioned to recreate the familiar, hence why it's so hard to break free of patterns of self-sabotage, of relationships where you feel like you're taken advantage of, where you feel like you're resentful, where you feel like you're unloved, you're unimportant. Are you feeling any of this? Type a yes if you are. So I'm going to just shortcut the process because I don't believe in wasting time. And those root cause beliefs are you ready? Are you ready to write these down? I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. Everybody has this root cause belief. And you'll have it in some aspect of your life. But what happens is when you have it in relationships or work or whatever, your body, whatever, it has a domino effect of it affecting every single area of your life. The second one, which is really related to it, is I'm not worthy and deserving of love. I'm not worthy and deserving of success. I'm not worthy and deserving of abundance. It's just feeling like you're not worthy, you're not deserving, you're not important. You can't have what you want. Is this hitting home for anyone? Type at home if it is. And then the third one is I'm different. I don't belong. I don't fit in. Because different, when you're an adult, different is great, different is unique, right? Different is what we all strive to be. It's why I have my crazy hair and I'm the anime character person that rollerblades all throughout Barcelona. I love being different because that's me. That's who I am. But if you think about being different when you're a child, being different in the caveman days, that almost meant certain death. Because what do we all want to be? What do we all want to do when we're younger? We want to fit in. And at the end of the day, the real you that's inside of you, that's your inner child. Emotionally, we've never left that child. So we all want to fit in. We all want to feel safe. We all want to feel loved. And that's why every single person that's here, every single person, and the numbers are growing. I reckon we're going to hit over 100. Every single person has the same fears of not being loved, of not being good enough, and of feeling different. And this must be really hitting home because I'm getting emotional as fuck and I'm a crazy powerful empath. So type a yes if this is hitting home for you right now. And you're like, yeah. Because it means that you're in the right place. And it means that you're ready. So you're ready to receive. Because you can only receive what you're ready, willing, and able to receive. Right? Your energy can either be contracted or expanded. It can't be both. When your energy is expanded, it means that you're ready, willing, and open to receive. Because let me tell you right now, you can journal all you want. You can visualize all you want. You can watch The Secret a million times. You can try and manifest the shit out of whatever it is that you're calling in, that you want in your life. But if you're not ready to receive it, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. And that's based on one thing. Do you want to know what that one thing is? Type a one thing if you're ready to learn what that one thing is. And this is why this workshop is so incredibly important. Sorry, I have a tickle in my throat. Guess. I only see okay. Now we're getting interactive. I like this. By the way, if you're not on mute, please pop on mute. Just so we don't get any feedback. Thank you, gorgeous people. All right. The one thing is how you feel about yourself. Now, please write this down or please type this in the chat box. Because your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. Your reality, what you're experiencing, is just a mirror reflection of how you're feeling about yourself on the inside. So if you're experiencing toxic relationships with anyone, colleagues, friends, family, your partner, whatever, it's because you have a toxic relationship with yourself. It's because you don't love yourself, you don't value yourself, you don't put yourself first. Right? So, and if you're kind of sitting there and you're feeling resistance to this, then just let yourself receive it. Because it all starts with you. Now I'm going to explain the science behind this. Because this isn't just like woo woo rah rah self-love talk, because I hate that shit. Like it's unhelpful. Right? I can see people laughing. Okay. So never thought about it that way. Yeah, absolutely, right? All right. Okay, top of your spinal cord, you have a bundle of neurons called your RAS. Type this in the chat box. Capital R, capital A, capital S. It's your reticular activating system. And this acts like your antenna, like, like a bug, like your antenna, for pulling in, for drawing in what you see, what you smell, what you taste, what you experience in your outer world. Thank you, David. Now, that brings into your awareness what you experience based on what you believe, based on what you consciously and subconsciously believe in. Okay? Now, if you consciously or subconsciously, and the difference is you know it, the other difference is you're probably not aware that you know it. Now, your reality is going to be created based on whatever your beliefs are. So deep down, if you believe that you're unworthy and you're undeserving of love, then what do you think you're going to receive in your life? Who do you think you're going to attract? And how do you think you're going to treat yourself? I see very solemn faces. Nod if this is like, you're like, okay, I'm getting this. Or type a yes if you're getting this. Yeah, negatively, absolutely, right? So this is why this is so important. Now, my self-love journey has gone from hating myself, hating my body, to, if you go on my Instagram, there's photos of me in bikini because I'm like, you know what? This is my body. This is my home. This is my temple. I'm going to look after it. I'm going to love it so much. And I'm going to set really clear boundaries for myself and my relationships in my life. And I went from a point of attracting and having the most toxic relationships in my life. Like, I'm talking about abusive, like physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever, right? Like everything, like being assaulted, like just attracting this shit into my life because I didn't love myself. I didn't even know what that meant. I was the biggest doormat. Woo! Type a doormat in if you have felt or you feel the same way, because it is beyond shit. And this is why it's my mission right now to do this, to give you this, to gift you this, because I wish that I had received this years and years and years ago. And going back to beliefs, this is what I used to believe in. So I remember once I was talking to, I think she was a psychologist or whatever, like a therapist, and she helped me uncover a belief that I had, that all men were liars and were cheaters. Like, that's a fucking amazing belief, right? Like, can you imagine what I was attracting into my life? Obviously, right? So I was only seeing and hearing liars and cheaters. Yeah. Type a yes in if you can, if that hits home for you. If you're like, okay, yeah, I get it now. So I wasn't open to experiencing men who weren't liars and cheaters, men who weren't abusive, men who weren't aggressive. So I committed to doing the work. I invested over $60,000 in myself, in learning all sorts of courses, in hypnotherapy, different types of therapy, like in everything to get accredited as fuck. So I could help myself and then in turn help others, which is why you're here today. Now, I have the most beautiful relationships. Like the moment I realized when I'd cracked this open and my boundaries were working was when I was with this guy and he was enraged. And I thought he was going to hit me or yell at me because that was what I was expecting. And he did nothing. I was like, okay. And you know when you're prepared for something and it doesn't come and you're just like, but what? Are you certified in coaching after the 60K? Yeah, I'm certified in a lot of things. 60K is a lot of money. And so this is why this is so important. Because I feel like in the self-love world, it's all about externalizing things. It's all about, massages and whatever. No. It's about transforming the most important relationship, which is the relationship you have with yourself. So what I'm going to go through is 5 practical steps to set clear boundaries, not just for others, but for yourself, because that's where it all starts. Type a yes if you're ready for this. Amazing. I also have a Break the Pattern of Toxic Relationships workshop. So if you want access to that, then if you haven't watched that, I ran this workshop a few weeks ago, then message me on Instagram and I will give you a link so you can watch it. All right. Okay. Number 1, the number 1 thing. So 5 steps to setting boundaries. Number 1, know your value and know your worth. Know your value and know your worth. And I'm going to teach you and show you how right here, right now. This workshop is going to be very, very practical because I'm a how person, I'm a why person, and I hate it when people will tell you things and they don't tell you how. It frustrates the hell out of me. What does that mean? Okay, so first of all, you need to know what is important to you because it all starts with you, right? Like, don't externalize anything. Don't blame anyone or anything. Take full self-responsibility. So the first thing is you need to know what's important to you. Now I'm going to help you with this, okay? Type a help if you're ready to receive this help. So in step number 1, I love it, help. Yes, amazing. Thank you for your comments. All right, step number 1 is you need to know what your personal values are. Your personal values determine the trajectory of your happiness. They're the roadmap to your happiness. Okay, so write that in. My values are the roadmap to my happiness. If you don't know what your values are, then how the hell are you going to know what makes you happy? So please type that in. My values are the roadmap to my happiness. Now your values are really simple. Your values are the 3 to 5 or 10 or whatever you want, most important things to you in your life. Thank you, Sarah. So I'm going to give you an example. So my top personal values as a person is love, freedom, joy/fun. I just love having fun. Authenticity, because I really, really believe in being honest and being authentic. And contribution. I believe in making a difference. I gave up everything that I had so I could do this to make a difference. I've even got a tattooed on my arm, make a difference. So right here, right now, and this may take time. This may take today, it may take tomorrow, it may take a week. Know what your personal 3 to 5 values are. Know what's important to you. Okay? Type of values in, or type, if you already know what your values are, amazing. Write that in the chat box. Because when we share what's in our hearts, when we share our values, then sometimes it can help and trigger other people for them to uncover what their values are too, which is why I shared mine. Because this journey isn't just about you. This journey is about you helping to uplift the vibration of the planet. This journey is about you helping everybody else Because that's the key to true happiness, right? It's not just in helping ourselves, it's helping other people. Respect, love, and peace. I love that. It's so beautiful. Thank you. Respect, appreciation, and love. I respect and I love you all. Type a love if you can feel the love that I am sending from my heart to yours. And you know, when we do that, when we really focus on giving love to others, our electromagnetic field expands so much. Oh my God, love, love, love. Oh, I'm gonna cry. Okay. All right. So the second thing under step 1 is know your value, know your worth. Is what are your 3 to 5 values in relationships? Now, I'm not just talking about in your romantic relationship. I'm talking about in every single relationship. What are your values, your most important things in your relationships? Okay. I'm going to share mine with you. So my personal values and relationships, because this basically what this does is this anchors in your RAS, your reticular activating system. So it like beacons, it hones in on what you look for, which is going to help you set your boundaries for what you're not willing to tolerate. And so you won't see the shitty people that come into your life because you're like so focused on this. It's like you're a homing pigeon, right? So right now, can everyone, like, you're at home, like, do this. I'm a homing pigeon. If you're on camera, I can see you and I can see that you're not doing it. So you're like this. Everyone be a homing pigeon or type a homing pigeon in the comments. Hone in on what you're looking for, because that's what's going to determine what you attract more of, right? You receive more of how you're feeling, but you need to set that in. You need to set the intention for what you want first. This is why this step is so freaking important. I'm loving these values, by the way, guys. Respect, understanding, appreciation, caring, honesty, trust, speak open, caring, respect. Wow, respect is huge. I can't pronounce that word. Harmony, tolerance, respect. I love that. Okay, so what are your values in relationships? I'm going to share mine with you. Loyalty. I'm so big on loyalty. Authenticity. This is what I look for in relationships, any kind of relationships. Support. Because for me, I only want people in my life that support, uplift me, empower me, love me, and value me. And for me, that comes under support. If they don't do that, like, why the fuck are you here? Right? All right. And then what I also really, really appreciate is honesty. I have friends that are so crazy honest. I had like a late lunch with a friend before, and we're just super honest with each other. I just looked at him and I'm like, dude, you're playing with fire. You're like, do you not think I should do that? I'm like, no, I don't think you should do that at all. And we're just like, I don't care if I hurt him. I want to be honest with him because that's what I expect in return. And it doesn't mean I'm not being compassionate. It means that I love him enough because I have his best intentions at heart, and vice versa. Okay? So I surround myself with people that have aligned values. And then my last value in relationships is communication. Because I want to be around people who express themselves because I value expressing myself. I want to be unapologetically myself. And if I'm not, I want someone to call me out and be like, hey, you're hiding. Like literally my brother will be like, why are you being emo? Why are you hiding? And I will literally, if I'm at home for a few days, I have friends that'll message me, be like, come out of your cave. I'm like, okay, all right. Thanks, I needed that. So this is why your values are so important, because your self-worth is based on what your values are. Please write that down. My self-worth is based on what my values are, because your self-worth is based on what's important to you. So you need to know what's important to you. My self-worth is based on what my values are. My self-worth is based on what my values are. Because if I don't know what is important to me, then how is anybody else expected to know that? Right? Okay, thank you so much for this comment. Okay, dear Alexis, you may have been having great intentions, but I will call you out. If you keep saying shit, fuck, etc., I'm not sure I will take you seriously as a credible professional coach and I want you to coach me. Okay, thank you. So now this is what I really want to expand on. Now, this for years, I was a people pleaser, you know, like, which I've said before. But I think this is the biggest thing. When you step into being more of yourself, when you step into being unapologetically yourself, two things will happen. One thing will happen is that your vibration will rise. Now, what do I mean by that? So there's a scale of consciousness. And what that is the more authentic you are, the higher your vibration is, the more attractive your energy is. And the highest vibrational frequencies, which is basically feelings, is love, peace, and joy. And the more authentic you are, the more you release the fear, the guilt, the shame, the whatever, because you're being more of yourself. And people like that. And what happens is, I like that you're being yourself, don't change for other people. Thank you, Sarah. And what happens is two things. The more you're authentic, right? And that swearing, it's saying what you want to do. It's not necessarily swearing, because not everyone likes to swear. It's saying what you want to do. It's being whoever you want to be. It's expressing yourself in whatever way. So it's looking the way that you want to look for you, for nobody else but you. Because this is what taking back your power means. Taking back your power means making your opinion more important than anybody else's opinion. It means making your wants and needs more important than anybody else's wants and needs. Let's all be unapologetically ourselves. I love that. I love you, Sarah. Thank you. Okay. Because when you get to that stage, it means that you actually do love yourself. Because loving yourself is having the courage and confidence to be unapologetically yourself. So the second thing is that you're going to become very, very polarizing. By polarizing, not everyone's going to like you. Not everyone's going to love you. But that is the point. Because not everybody has to like or love you. Who is the only person that needs to like or love you? Type that in the chat box. Let me know. Who is the only person that, yeah, it's yourself. It's you. It's you. Absolutely. So I'm saying this with so much love. I know that the only person that I need to like and love me is me. And type that in. The only person that I need to like and love me is me. And this is about knowing your value and knowing your worth. It's putting yourself first. It's taking back your power to go, you know what? I don't need your opinion. I don't need your validation. I don't need your approval. Because I just need me to love me. I need to like me. And if that means swearing, if that means saying whatever, doing whatever, and you don't like that, then that's okay. That's okay. Because I do. And I value that because I value authenticity. And I know that the more authentic we are, the higher our vibration, the higher our frequency, and the more we're going to call in and attract into our lives of what we want. Because when we're not being completely authentic, then we're living in fear, whether or not we realize it. Fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear of failure. And I'm done with that. Type a done with that if you're done with that. How do you know what is good or what is bad? That's a really, really good question. Okay, if it feels light or right to you, then that is in alignment with you. It's all about being in alignment. And I get comments all the time. My mom used to message me. She'll be like, hey, can you put on some more clothes? So funny. Can you not swear so much? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, Mom, I think, she's like, you should wear a jacket, be more professional so you'll get more clients. And I was like, oh, Mom, my thing is about authenticity. My clients come to work with me because I'm unapologetically myself. So if I'm in a bikini, rollerblading and dancing, and if someone doesn't want to work with me because of that, then that is their problem, not mine. All right. Okay. So are we ready for step 2? Are you clear on your values? And if you're not, are you committed to taking the time, energy, and effort to get clear on your values? If you are yourself, the right people will like and love you. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. And the greatest thing is that people that do not vibe in your frequency will automatically fall out of your life. Automatically fall out of your life, which is amazing. Because, and I'm going to give you a really, really hot tip. Are you ready for it? This is something that I talk about with all my clients, and is the most incredibly freeing thing. Okay. And this may trigger you, and this may you may be like, this may polarize you, but that's okay. That's completely okay. Because if it triggers you, it means that, okay, write this down. This is a huge one. When a trigger is revealed, it means that there is a wound that is ready to be healed. So if a trigger is revealed, it means that there's a wound that needs to be healed. Now, a trigger is an emotional reaction that you have to an event. So if I swear and it triggers you, then that means that there's a wound inside of you that needs to be healed. And it means that you've been attracted to me in this workshop for a reason, because it means that you're ready to release it. How freeing is that? Okay, so I'm going to give you this golden nugget before we move on to step 2. So this golden nugget is fuck the shoulds. I love that. Thank you, Carlos. Fuck the shoulds. Because living in the land of shoulds, I should do this, I should say this, I should wear this, I should wear a blazer because it's professional, I shouldn't swear because it's not professional, whatever the hell it is. I should do this. Let me ask you a question. Is that people pleasing, or is that being authentic? Is living in the land of shoulds, is that people pleasing, or is that being authentic? Type it in, let me know. Oh my God, Rahini, yes, like 1,000% yes. Rahini wrote people pleasing in capital letters with like 3 exclamation marks, something I totally would have done as well. You're like my spirit animal. It's people pleasing. And people pleasing is your fastest way to miserable Oompa Loompa land, where all the other Oompa Loompa, which are slaves, if you've watched Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, live. It's your fastest way to misery. So fuck the shoulds. Don't think about what you should do. Do what you actually want to do. What do you actually want to do? Because when you're people pleasing, it means that you're being the supporting actor in your life. And that is not supporting or serving yourself. All right. So number 2. Are we ready for number 2? Type in 2 if you're ready for number 2. Yes, people pleasing is not genuine. Yes. All right. 2. Know what you want. Know what you want. You got to get crystal clear on what you want, because you've already identified what's important to you. Second thing is know what you want. Okay. Everything starts with an intention. You have to set a clear intention. Intention is what you want. So the outcome plus the feeling. It's not good. You can't just say, I want $1 million. You can't just say, I want a loving relationship. You can't just say, I want a soulmate tribe. It's the feeling, because you attract more of what you feel. Your vibration, like attracts like, based on your vibration. You could sit there and journal all you want, but if you feel like shit, guess what you're going to attract more of? I can see nods. Yeah, you get me. So, set an intention for what you want. All right. I'll give you an example of this. Years and years ago, I felt really alone. So I was going through my spiritual awakening. I was at a stage where I realized that I wanted to change my life. And I was sick of being surrounded by people that I didn't necessarily vibe with, and that I wanted to grow. I wanted to grow exponentially. So I became a hermit, because I decided that I would rather be by myself and work on myself and invest in myself than be surrounded by people that weren't authentic. So my vision that I set for myself years ago was I wanted to be surrounded by my soulmate tribe, people that I loved and valued and respected so much that I would travel with them. Because for me, like, if you're going to travel with someone, like, you better have an amazing relationship, right? So thank you for watching. So what I did was I set that intention, and I set that intention with an energetic declaration to the universe. And what I mean by that is you really feel into what it feels like to have that thing where I felt so much love, so much gratitude for these beautiful people that I was calling into my life. And this is friends, this is family, this is clients. And it was just like, I felt it, I really, really felt it. And it happened so quickly, so incredibly quickly. And then one day I woke up and I was living, I'm from Brisbane, Australia. Brisbane is a, smallish city in Australia. Well, it's the third biggest capital city in Australia, but small by Europe standards. And I woke up and I was like, wow, I have so many friends in Barcelona, but not just friends, they're like family. I have so much love. I'm surrounded by so much support. And I meet more and more people all the time, to the point where I have to stop making new friends because I don't have time to see the people that I really love here. And my clients are my soulmate tribe clients. I love them so much. And I love speaking with them. I love seeing them just really grow and change their lives. And I love getting the messages from them, like saying, oh my God, thank you so much. And this is what I'm doing right now. And it's the most beautiful experience. And then I look back one day and I was like, wow, I'm helping people doing exactly the same thing that I wanted, where people were anxious and depressed and unhappy with themselves, their body, their lives, their relationships. And now complaining to me because they have too many friends. And they're complaining to me because they're like, oh my God, I'm with this person and they're amazing. And like, this is the outcome of what happens when you learn how to love yourself. All my clients are now in love in amazing relationships because I've helped them learn how to love themselves. And for me, that's a gorgeous byproduct. So what is your intention? What is your intention? What does it look like? What does it feel like? And set an intention for the different types of relationships that you want in your life. Because obviously the romantic relationship intention is going to be different to your friends, right? Sorry. Okay, so I've got 5 categories here. Please write these 5 categories down. Your romantic relationship, family, friends, work, and acquaintances. Acquaintances are important because they're still people that are in your life. So what is your intention for all of these types of relationships? Clearly I need to drink more water. Okay, so create your intentions. You don't have to do this right now, but at least create one right now for the most important relationship that you want to work on right now for all of these relationships. And I'm going to give you a 6th one, which is your relationship with yourself. So this is where it all starts. So out of all of these right now, thank you, Nora. Please share with us in the chat box. And the reason why I'm asking you to share is that you will inspire and motivate somebody else to share something to positively trigger someone if you share this. Share what is your intention for your relationship with yourself. Now, I'm going to give you a massive, massive, massive like aha moment, okay? You remember how I said fuck the shoulds? And I probably triggered like I don't know how many of you here. And remember, a trigger is good. This is when you go, yay, welcome triggers, yay, feeling triggered, because it means that you're ready to release the negative emotions, the anger, the fear, the resentment, the judginess, whatever, right? Because when you truly love yourself, you don't care what anybody else does. Like, genuinely do not care. Okay, so, don't focus on the check boxes. So if you're trying to call in an amazing relationship, forget about, I want a tall, dark, and handsome man, or I want a gorgeous woman with XYZ. None of that matters. Because when you focus on those things, or friends, family, whatever, like amazing boss who does XYZ, whatever, it doesn't matter what kind of relationship. When you focus on those things, what happens is that you step into control. What happens is that you step into caring about the wrapping paper of the package, the wrapping paper of the present, than what's inside the actual present. And what we forget is that, and you get stuck. It's like you're dating and you're like, oh my God, but this person ticks off all my check boxes. And you get fixated on that person. You create stories about that person. You put them on a pedestal. When really, you're locking yourself into that outcome. You're focusing on control, and you're not allowing yourself to receive the infinite possibilities that are out there. There's 7 billion people in the world. You don't know who's ready to walk into your life. That may surprise you, that may delight you, because you're focusing on the wrapping paper. You're focusing on your checklist. So imagine this is your checklist, rip it up, and we're going to create a new checklist. So this new checklist, your intention is going to be based on the energy of the relationship, because everything comes down to energy. And what that means is how you feel in that relationship. Okay? Focus on the person's energy. Focus on your energy. Yeah. So you're going to focus on the energy of the relationship. So I'm going to share with you my personal one. Okay, amazing. When you set intentions about relationships, how is the best way to express it? Using adjectives describing it. I'm going to share with you, right? So for me, my intention about a romantic relationship, okay, Alexis, drink water, is, like, I've got a list, so like feel free to take this, is the energy of the relationship, romantic relationship, and like always focus on this, even though you're in one, like attracting one, calling one in, whatever, right? Because your energy grows where your focus goes. Okay, is it's fun, it's sexy, it's passionate, it's playful, it's safe, it's comfortable, that's pretty much it. And I could go into like loyal, committed, and rah. But for me, like if it's safe, then it covers all of those things. The energy of the relationship for me with friends is that it's fun. It's very similar, so that it's fun, it's safe, it's loving, it's positive, it's supportive, and it feels really, really light. Because I don't want to be drained and I don't want it to be heavy. I want to love when I spend time with that person. I want to feel uplifted after every single interaction, even if it's them giving me constructive criticism, because I know that it comes from the heart. And I've had a lot of difficult conversations recently, but I receive it and I accept it with love. And just like I love that, just like, thank you, Rohini. And just like when I give it, like I had an uncomfortable conversation about 2 hours ago where I was telling my friend that he was playing with fire, but he knows that I'm doing it out of love, with his best intentions at heart, because I'm speaking from my heart. So when you're living and loving and speaking from your heart, it's a different vibrational frequency. And it means that you're not living in your head, your mind, your ego, your brain, and out of fear and control, it means you're speaking from love. And that space is from a space of self-love, because that's where it all starts. Type of self-love in, by the way, if you would love to learn how to love yourself more. All right. So that is your second task. Create your intentions for your energy of each relationship. Self-love, self-love, self-love. Amazing. Stay to the end if you want to work on this, and I'll give you a link to learn more about self-love stuff. All right. 3. Know what you don't want. This is really, really important. Know what you don't want. Which is what you will no longer tolerate. Right. In order to be authentic, you need to know yourself first. Big problem these days is that people are not aware of who they are. Their voices, what they say, do transmit. But in order to do that, you need to stop and think, doubt yourself more, observe yourself before loving yourself that quickly. Daniel, can you expand on that? All right. Okay. So know what you will no longer tolerate. Now, I'm going to give you an example of this, right? You need to create a list of things that you will no longer tolerate. You no longer tolerate. All right, now I'm going to explain to you. You have a ceiling and you have a floor. You have a ceiling and you have a floor. And your ceiling and floor will continuously rise when you raise your personal frequency, when you raise your personal vibration. Easiest way to do that, I'm going to give you a super quick, I'm going to give you a shortcut. Focus on having fun, focus on being more of yourself, or focus on having more fun being yourself. So my intention every single day is I'm going to have so much fun being myself. So much fun being myself. I'm 35. Everyone says I'm like a child. They're like, oh my God, you're like a kid. I'm like, yeah, I know. Because children like to play. Children like to have fun. We should all be like children. Children are loving. Why not? All right. So ceiling and floor. Okay. What you will no longer tolerate. I'm going to give you an example of my list of things that I will no longer tolerate. I will not tolerate someone being racist to me. I will not tolerate someone being abusive to me, calling me nasty names, being physically, mentally, emotionally abusive whatsoever. I will not tolerate being treated as an option when I know that I'm a priority. I will not tolerate people who aren't being authentic. I won't tolerate people who aren't honest. I will not tolerate people in my life that aren't loyal. I will not tolerate, and personal things that I won't tolerate about myself, I won't tolerate me not listening to my intuition. If I feel yucky about something, if I feel like I shouldn't do something because my gut tells me I don't want to do it, because I'm feeling not good about it, I'm not going to do it. Even if it makes no sense, even if it's inconvenient. And the best example that I can give is I bought an investment property with my ex-partner. And, well, I bought a few investment properties with my ex-partner. And the first investment property we bought, the real estate agent had signed, he had signed. And in that moment when I had the pen in my hand, my intuition, my gut said, no, don't sign it. But I felt bad. I was being queen of people-pleasing land. And I was like, I can't back out now. It's too late. And I would disappoint everybody. So I signed it. That investment property was the biggest financial mistake I've ever made in my life. And it took me, like, it's still affecting me now. So I'd wish I listened to my intuition. So I'm not going to tolerate not listening to myself anymore. I'm not going to tolerate not trusting myself. Because let me tell you right now, if you have trust issues, type in trust issue, trust, if you have trust issues, it's not because people are untrustworthy. It's not because people have let you down. It's because you don't trust yourself. It's because you haven't listened to yourself. It's because you haven't given yourself permission to listen, to follow the most important thing important sense that you have, which is your intuition. It's your heart, your soul, your higher self. It's whatever it is that is trying to guide you because you have your own inner compass. It's so true, but scary to listen to myself. What's scarier? Okay. So create your new ceiling and your new floor. Because when I made that energetic declaration that I was no longer going to tolerate people being abusive to me, I was no longer going to tolerate toxic relationships in my life, they disappeared. And now, like I had a pattern of toxic men, of abusive men in my life. Now, like, oh my goodness, all the men in my life are absolute gentlemen. And I could not be more grateful. I could not be more grateful. I'm so blessed. But it started with me setting boundaries for myself. This is where it all starts. Okay. All right. Number 4. Actually, before we move on, any questions about ceiling and floor? Any questions about not tolerating? And let me tell you right now that you don't have to tolerate anything less than you want and anything less than you deserve. If people in your life going, oh, if people are in your life saying, oh, but you have to be realistic, like that's bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Your life, create your own reality. Tune in your Raz to whatever you want. Because it's your life. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Otherwise, you're feeding into their fears and their insecurities. Unfortunately, people are not falling out that easily. They can still not leave you alone if they are crazy bored. Okay. All right. This is going to really help you. Nadia, how do you know if it's intuition or fear? Use your intuition law. Actually, that's a really, really good question. And this is something that I've been thinking about as well. Who would like a workshop on intuition? Or a course on intuition or whatever? Because I have a 5 steps self-love course starting next week. Wow. Loads of people wanting to learn about intuition. So I think when that's done, I'll start an intuition course. Amazing. All right. So if you want to learn about that, then I think I will. We might make the next one about that. The next workshop. Okay. All right. Number 4. Nadia, this is really going to help you. Step number 4 is knowing what to say. Because it's really easy to go, oh, set better boundaries. If you're like, I don't know what to say. Oh, allergies. All right. Okay. So I'm going to give you 3. This is practical stuff. You need to create 3 lines. It's like role play. It's so funny, but you totally need it. Can you give us short oars about how to discriminate when is fear and intuition? Okay, I'm going to quickly answer this and then we're going to go to step 4 because I'll get into a tangent about this and then I'll be talking for ages. All right, so basically your intuition comes from your heart space. It never comes from fear. Your intuition comes from your body. Your intuition is, and the key to feed into this is you need to be able to tune into your body. You need to get out of your head, your mind, your ego, your brain, and into your body, into your heart space. And people receive intuition in different ways. So sometimes you see things, sometimes you hear things, sometimes you feel things, sometimes it's like a gut instinct. By the way, if you get a gut instinct to do something, that's survival intuition, follow that. That is literally do or die. Okay? I read somewhere once that Mark Wahlberg was meant to be in the 9/11 planes during 9/11, and last minute his intuition said to him, drive instead. That's what I mean about do or die intuition. Okay? So intuition comes to people in different ways, and you have to tune into how you feel it and how you receive it. Sometimes it's signs. You might see numbers. You might see 1111 everywhere. Sometimes it's you just have this knowing, this sense. So So what I invite you to do is like tap into what you receive it. And if all you feel is fear, that's not intuition. And if it's very, very detailed, going, do this and then do this and then do this and then do this, that's not intuition. Your intuition is vague. It's like one word or two words, or just like your intuition just goes, next step, next step, next step. Why? Because your intuition is based off energy, and energy changes in a moment, in a moment, in a moment. Just like you could walk the same way home every single day, and then for whatever reason, one day your intuition goes, don't take that route home. And it could be because there's an unsavory character down that hallway. But if your mind is going, oh, but it's shorter and rah, 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 that's not your intuition. It's your mind. Your intuition is very, very vague. Okay. All right. So I'm going to get back to the content, and I promise I will run an intuition workshop in the future. Okay. So keep tuned to my workshops. All right. So number 4, knowing what to say. Nadia, this is definitely going to be helpful for you. You need to have 3 lines, 3 rehearsed lines. So when the moment arises, you're able to express them. The first line is, and they're all ways to say no, because write this down. Saying no to somebody else is saying yes to myself. Saying no to somebody else is saying yes to myself. All right. Basically, the first line is when you say, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Now, how hard is that, right? Is everyone going, oh my God, I don't want to say that. What if they don't like me? What if they don't invite me anymore? So come up with your own personal, are you laughing, Gracia? Yeah, are you like, yeah, I totally get you. Okay. Saying no is saying yes to myself. Absolutely right. So you need a line that you can use where you're saying, I don't want to go. So what I say is, I'm not really feeling it, because all my friends know that I'm all about vibes and energy. It's like, yeah, I'm not really feeling it. And when I say that, they're like, I'm not going to push her. So I don't want to go. Like, what is your line for you to say, I don't want to go? The second line is, I don't want to do that. So what I say is, it's not my vibe. Sorry. Where you're like, I don't want to do that. So it could be, what is something that someone asked? Oh my God, my friend, I don't know why. Okay, I'm not into this, but my friends are like, oh, come do a pottery workshop. It's like a all weekend pottery workshop. I have a very short attention span. I do not want to spend 2 days of my weekend making pottery. Like an hour, sure. No, not even that. Half an hour, sure. And I was like that. Like I asked so many times to do this, and I was like, it's not my thing. It's not really my vibe. I don't really want to go. Like I don't want to. Like no, sorry guys. Or like if it's like, so this is really funny. I've had a lot of friends say to me, oh, come for a run. I was like, no. No. And you know what the crazy thing is that when you learn how to say these lines, people will respect you more. People will value you more. People value you and respect you less if you're a people pleaser. Crazy, right? But isn't that true? Type a true if you're like, yeah, that's true. Someone that holds their ground is incredibly sexy. Someone that says no a lot is incredibly sexy. All right. Number 3, this is really, really important, is when you say you've changed your mind. You know, when you said, yeah, I'll come to this party, or I'll come to dinner, or I'll come to this. And the last minute you're like, oh, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Your intuition or whatever is like, I've changed my mind. I don't want to go. And you're like, but I can't because I already said yes and I feel bad and blah. Who's ever felt like that before? Type a yes if you have. Okay, so you need a line to get out of it. And look, I value honesty, so it's got to be an honest line. Well, for me, it's an honest line. Okay, so for me, hardest to say no to for sure. Okay, so you need to have a good line for this, right? So for me, it's like what have I gotten out of recently? Last Friday, I was meant to meet up with friends. I ended up going. Oh my god. What else? It's being really honest and it's expressing yourself from the heart. But basically, it's when you change your mind, you have to give a reason. So, hey, I know that I said that I would go, but I'm not. But now I'm feeling whatever. And okay, here's the thing. Here's the crux, right? Okay, yes, but continually say you're not. Okay, good. So, Jerry, thank you so much for bringing that up. By continually saying no, you end up not getting invites anymore. Now, if you're thinking like that, are you operating out of love or are you operating out of fear? Fear. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you've got to train yourself to only do things that you want to do. And you've got to, by doing that, you've got to train others to only invite you to things that they know that you want to do. So I get invited to do like all these artsy things. I'm not into it. So my friends are like, hey, come to painting canvases. Not my thing. I'm like, no, I'll come to brunch before that, but otherwise, no. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Bridget. Appreciate that. So don't feel bad about saying no. And here's the thing. Let me really clarify this for you. If you go to something that you don't want to go to, is your vibration going to be high or is it going to be low? Type it in the chat box. Yeah, it's going to be low. Very low. Low a boy. Oh my God, Nicole, I love that. And if it's going to be low, then what is the point? If it's going to be low, then you're going to bring down everyone else's vibe. So you're better off not going. And you're going to resent yourself and you're going to resent everybody else for going. So only do things if it's a hell yes. If it's a hell yes, or your intuition is saying, just go. Just go. And here's where you know whether or not you should do something or you shouldn't do something. If it feels light in your body, then it's a yes. If it feels heavy, then it's a no. And heavy means draining or just like, ugh. So light is right. Please write that in. Light is right. Light is right. Oh, I love it. Okay. Number 5, know your patterns. Know your patterns. All right. You can journal all you want. You can, all right, Linda, sometimes I cancel plans because I'm tired or not in the mood, but end up feeling so bad for the rest of the day out of guilt. All right. Lena, if you're feeling guilty, is that low vibe or is that high vibe? Feeling guilty for something, is that low vibe or is that high vibe? And if you're feeling guilty, is it because you're putting other people first or you're putting yourself first? Yeah, you're right. It's low. So what we're going to do is we're going to retrain. And instead of your energy going out to everybody else and making everybody else happy, guess who you get to make happy first? Yourself. Now I'm going to give you the best analogy of this. You know that saying, happy wife, happy life? Happy wife, happy life. Me, yay. I love that. Yeah, me is like, yeah, I've heard that before. That's funny. But it's so true, right? So the mother is pretty much, they're like the apex, the core of the household. Sorry, dads. Myself, but I may be canceling class I got to take. Okay. So, Lena, if you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. If you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. If you rock up in a low vibe state, what is the point of you being there? Okay, happy wife, happy life. If the mum, so let's say mum, kids, husband, whatever, right? Like we're talking about like a nuclear family. If the mother isn't looking after herself, if the mother isn't eating right and exercising, then she's going to be grumpy as hell, which means she's going to take it out on her husband, which means she's going to take it out on her kids, and which means that she's going to be like feral. She's going to be foul. And nobody wants to be around her because she hasn't taken the time to love herself and put herself first. She hasn't taken the time to look after herself, to take basic self-care. Who's experienced that before? Or who is that? Type a yes if you've experienced that before. Type a yes if you are that. Yes. Yes, totally. Okay. But if she's decided to do things for herself, like she committed to yoga once a week, eating better, she'll be in a better mood, which means she's a better mother, she's a better friend, she's a better whoever. So take that time to put yourself first. Take that time to do things for you. I've literally been at home all week by myself. I canceled on so many plans this week because I know that I needed that time for me. And did I feel bad? No. Why? Because it's a choice. You get to choose how you feel. You get to choose to feel guilty. You get to choose to feel, instead of feeling guilty, you get to shift your focus and choose to feel really good that you decided to put yourself first. All right. So number 5, know your patterns, okay? Know your patterns, because let me tell you right now, you can learn all of this, you can apply all this, but you will fuck it up. You will fuck it up. Why? Because we're conditioned. We're conditioned to recreate the same patterns. We're conditioned to recreate the familiar. So you need to know what your patterns are. You need to know what your personal red flags are. You need to know what you will do to self-sabotage and what you're going to do instead. Okay, I think the easiest thing with this is dating, right? Like the easiest example is dating or working out. It's like, okay, if you commit to working out, 3 times a week, and you do it really well for 3 weeks, and you know that your self-sabotaging pattern is after that, you're going to binge and go drinking or eat a bunch of ice cream or sit on the couch or watch Netflix and then eat crap, then catch yourself. Know what your ceiling and your floor is. Like, what are you going to do to come crashing down? Because you know it, right? Like, type in self-sabotage if you know what your self-sabotaging patterns are. So you can catch it and go, hey, I'm self-sabotaging. So here's what I'm going to do instead. Here's what I'm going to do instead. So an example of this in the romantic relationships is I used to be really attracted to emotionally unavailable men. Yeah, I can see nods. I can be like, yeah, totally. You know, I can see your face. And so if someone's emotionally available, I'm like, oh, this is boring. Or what, you want to date me? You want to keep messaging me, asking me out? Like, this isn't fun. This isn't exciting. So I'll self-sabotage. But I know that now. And see, here's what happens is that your brain is used to drama. Your brain is used to you putting everybody else first. Your brain, your mind, your ego is used to all your self-sabotaging patterns. So it's going to want to recreate the familiar. It's going to want to do all of those things. So your brain, your body is going to physically want to keep feeling bad, keep feeling guilty, keep doing all the things that you don't want to do. It's going to want to do all of these things. Like, if you're tired, still go out. It's going to want to default back to that because it's your set point. You have a vibrational set point. Why? Gloria, really good question. It's because you've been conditioned to doing it. You have neural pathways in your brain. So imagine, dot to dot. Those are the pathways in your brain. So you already have those neural pathways, right? So I'm going to give you an example. Let's say, okay, you see? Wait. All right, so there's this point to this point. Now, the first time you do something, this is your neural pathways in your brain. You're going to create a line in your brain, right? Now, let's say you do something once, and that is, okay, I'm going to say yes to something that I don't want to do because I want to make everybody else happy, and I feel bad if I don't do it, right? And so what happens when you first do it it's like you're taking a pencil and you're drawing that line. But then when you do it over and over and over again, that line gets thicker and that line gets stronger. So your neural pathway gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Yes, I'll send out the recording. So what happens, so keep an eye out for your email, keep an eye out on your emails, everyone. So what happens is that line gets stronger and stronger and stronger. So you will default back to that line because it's comfortable and it's easy for your brain, because your brain doesn't like learning new things. That's why learning new things is hard. You might like it, but it's going to be hard after 3 weeks. So yes, thank you, David. Right? So what you need to do is you need to create a new neural pathway for your brain. So you need to do that new thing over and over and over and over and over and over again, so that you create a new neural pathway in your brain. So all of this stuff that I'm teaching you right now, it's not going to be easy. Expect that it's not going to be easy. Expect that it's going to be challenging at first, but you get to choose. You get to choose to keep doing it until that becomes your norm. And you absolutely can. Now, the missing part about all of this is you need to love yourself enough to be able to do it. Yeah, recognizing all your patterns isn't easy indeed. Okay, so what really helps with this is, if you're struggling with this, like write this down. So here's your 2 pieces of homework from this piece. What are all your self-sabotaging patterns in relationships? How do I know if a bad feeling is fear or my brain stuck in the past pattern? How do we recognize patterns? Good question. Ask your friends and ask your family. I have a lot of friends who know my patterns, because I'm very open about what I go through. And then also I have a coach. Like, we all have, a coach is really, really good because they see your blind spots. All good coaches have coaches, because we want to work on ourselves. And they're people that look at you. And this is why my clients hire me and catch your patterns for you and go, hey, there's a pattern. Here's a blind spot. Here's a red flag. Just like the emotionally unavailable men. Right? So I have a friend who's obsessed with control because he operates in fear and scarcity. And he doesn't like to receive, he struggles with letting go, and he's obsessed with control. He's obsessed with like learning how to let go of control. And I said to him, you're doing it now. And he's like, what am I doing? Like, you're learning you're focusing on control when you could be focusing on the opposite of control, the opposite of fear, which is love. You could be focusing on how do you become more loving? How do you have more fun? Creating that new neural pathway instead. What if they will protect themselves? Okay, so really, really good question. Everything that you do that is stuck in trying to protect yourself is keeping you small. It's keeping your energy contracted, not expanded. It's just like, oh, I don't want to get hurt, so I'm not going to open myself up to a new relationship. A link will be sent out with the recording. I'm getting questions about that. So if you're trying to protect yourself, okay, yeah, cool. You might be trying to protect yourself from getting hurt, but you're keeping yourself from experiencing higher levels of love, joy, and abundance as well. So at the end of the day, on your deathbed, do you want to operate from that state and go, well, I didn't experience all of these things because I was afraid? Right? Okay, so I'm going to open myself up to answering questions. Type in all the questions that you have. Project as a friend projecting the feelings onto us. Okay, remember, your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. So whatever you're experiencing, whatever you're being triggered by, it's because you've got unresolved issues, unreleased emotion, unreleased energy within yourself. And emotions are just energy in motion that are waiting and ready to be released from your body, from your field, your aura, your electromagnetic field. You set the boundary, but some people do not respect it. Are these the people who are ready to leave your life? Okay, all right. So really, really good question. So if people don't respect your boundaries, I want you to ask yourself this question. Are you respecting yourself and your own boundaries? Because remember, your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. The way people treat you is a reflection of the way you treat yourself. If you have strong, clear boundaries, then people won't cross them because you won't accept anything less. My friends make fun of me because I go on amazing dates, like incredible dates. Like, because I won't expect anything less. I won't accept anything less. I won't accept anyone treating me less than a fucking queen, because that's my new flaw, right? Me is laughing. So when you get to that point, it's like, I will not tolerate anything less. I'm sorry, you want to treat me like crap, like bye-bye. And isn't that the truth? You get to decide what you are willing to tolerate. And this is what today is all about. And that is based on how you feel about yourself. That is based on what you say to yourself. That is based on the work that you do on yourself. Like, I didn't wake up one day and be like, I'm happy, I'm high vibe, I express myself, I'm unapologetic myself. No, this has been a journey. This is why I do what I do. Because I know how hard it is to do it on your own. I know how hard it is when people are like, oh, just love yourself more. How the fuck do I do that? If I knew how to do that, I wouldn't be where I am, right? If I knew how to love myself more, do you think I would have tolerated all these relationships in the past? Do you think that I would have been in an abusive relationship after abusive relationship? Do you think I would have hated my body so much that I had 12 chronic health conditions? No, absolutely not. But what I'm grateful for is now I know how. And that's what I do. And that's why I'm doing this for you today. And that's why I'm teaching people how to love themselves. Having standards and boundaries is good. It shows people how you want to be treated. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. So, who would like, thank you for the great session. You're very, very welcome. No, it means you should not be kind to please everyone. It's not about being kind. It's about just doing what you want to do, because it's your life. Be the hero of your own story. Do things that you want to do. Do things that you want to do. Okay. So I had a lot of people messaging before. Should put your own needs first. Absolutely right. Put your own needs first. So I'm open to answering questions. I'm going to put a link in here. So the link has the links to my socials and has the links to my self-love course, which is coming out next week. Everyone in waiting room. Okay, that clearly did not go to everyone. So what? Everyone in meeting. So what questions do you have for me? There we go. And I'll be running a workshop in roughly 2 weeks' time. Options are a workshop about raising your vibration or a workshop about intuition. My self-love workshop will be, my self-love course is coming out next week. Raising your vibration, cool. Both. I can do both.
Aren't they kind of related? Intuition and vibration. Intuition is trust, and vibration is energy. And if you trust yourself more, you'll have more energy.
Very true. Very true. Raising your vibration, both if possible. What would you like first? Vibration or intuition? I'm trying to figure out what to do next week, in 2 weeks. Well, that's obvious. Vibration. Cool. Oh, intuition. Oh, so confused.
With intuition.
Okay.
We'll eventually do both, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we pick one for maybe in 2 weeks, and then after that, the other one in the following 2 weeks, right?
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Welcome. I have a question. If your partner's blaming you for not loving him enough, if you spend time with your girlfriends without him on Saturdays, honey, answer that. I want you to reflect on everything that you've learned in the last 90 minutes and then type in your answer for yourself. And Nadia, let me know. All right. Why light is yes and heaviness no? Is it to do with high and low vibrations? Absolutely. Absolutely. Gloria, really good question. Now, what I invite you to do is, like, while people are typing in their questions, well, first of all, if you want more content like this and on a regular basis, then follow me on socials. I'll put my link in again. And secondly, please type in the chat box, what did you take away from this workshop? Yes, Sarah, go. Ask me your question.
Thanks, Alexis. My question is, you think like the way we are is like a reflection. Like if we feel insecure, if we feel not good within ourselves, and we are likely to attract more insecure people, people that are not at the level of our expectations, right? So my question is, like, if we are already, like, and this happened to me before, like in relationship, and how can we rise? I mean, I know this is in a falling event, but how can we like prevent the relationship from being like unfulfilling for ourselves?
Okay, so let me get
So how can we? So basically, how can we like make sure that the way we are, like we kind of drive the other person to respect us, to respect our boundaries if we are in a relationship, without having to break up necessarily at the beginning?
Really good question. So first of all, do everything that we spoke about today. Second of all, the only thing that you need to work on is loving and valuing and respecting yourself more, because you can't control the other person. You can't control what happens in the relationship, but the one thing that is in your control, within your power, is your relationship with yourself. And if you improve the relationship with yourself, you'll improve all your relationships. Because when you start to love, value, and respect yourself, other people will do that for you as well. Because how everyone treats you is a reflection of how you treat yourself. But if you're not treating yourself with the utmost love, with the utmost compassion, with the utmost respect, and you're not putting yourself, your needs first, then that means you're not valuing yourself. Then how is anyone going to respect you or your boundaries? How is anyone going to treat you the way that you want and the way that you deserve if you're not doing that for yourself? Everything is a mirror. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
And then you're welcome, honey. And if you reach that point and people are still disrespecting you, then this is where you get to decide, what are you willing to tolerate? And I'm going to share a personal story with this. In my last long-term relationship, I was with him for 6 years, and I found out he was cheating on me for 9 months. And I had to make that decision about, what am I willing to tolerate? So I chose me, and I chose that I'm not willing to tolerate this from him or anybody else ever again. I don't want to feel this worthless. I don't want to feel this unimportant. I don't want to feel not good enough. So I committed to myself. And because of that, and don't have, no, I'm not asking for the pity. I'm so grateful, so happy. And because of that, that's where I've ended up the way, like how I am and who I am today. Does that help? Let me know if it does. Okay. Let me quickly go and read all the other questions. Is it possible that your reality changes according to your energy, but your intellect can't follow? Your intellect will, okay, good point. Your heart reacts faster than, thank you, Sarah. Your heart reacts faster than your mind. So it will catch up. You will experience resistance. But if you keep tuning into this, it will follow and you'll get into alignment. All right. What if you lose someone significant in your life when you were setting your boundaries? It's okay, wasn't meant to be. All right, I'm gonna give you this is the biggest thing that's helped me probably in the last 10 years. People come into your life for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. And you can absolutely love someone and let them go. There are so many toxic relationships that I had in my life where I still really, really love them, but I've let them go. I've created distance, I've created space, even in family. and then just focus my energy, time, and effort on healing myself and building a better relationship with myself. And because of that, everything just kind of takes care of itself. All the relationships become better. But it all starts with improving the relationship you have with yourself. It all starts with self-love. This is why I teach self-love. Because everyone talks about it, but they're like, well, how do I actually do it? Like, how do you get from the depths of darkness from your soul, where you're in the dark night of the soul, to get to the point where you're like, yeah, I love myself. I like myself. I respect myself. And the most important thing is I'm comfortable and confident in being myself. In being myself, unapologetically myself. And when you're at that stage, it doesn't matter. You don't care what other people think about you. You let go of that fear of rejection. You let go of that fear of judgment, because you're like, I'm me. I'm feeling myself today. And that's when you're like, that's why everyone is still here. Like, it's ended, right? It's literally, we've gone beyond the 90 minutes. There's over 53 people still watching. Why? Because I'm being myself. So when you're more of yourself, your energy gets so incredibly high, and you get so incredibly attractive. And I'm not talking about in a physical sense. I'm talking about on an energetic level, where someone walks into the room and they light up the room. You're like, I just want to be around that person. I don't know why. Because their electromagnetic field is so powerful. It's so strong. Because they're comfortable with who they are. All right.
Well, Alexis, respect for your time. I mean, we could keep going for a couple more minutes, but I mean, just respect of your time and everybody else's time. But you know me, I'm all open, and if you want to stay, we'll stay. Yeah, anyone has any more additional questions?
Alexis, I had a question for you.
I also have a question.
I love it. Go.
Yeah, so my question is, in terms of like finding your purpose in life, I almost feel like, that's also a very significant part of who you are. And that really should be like a major focus.
Mm-hmm.
And part of self-love, right, is really to find your purpose. Because that is really respecting and using your gifts.
Absolutely. Was that a question?
Well, that was probably more like, because, like going through this self-love journey and everything, I'm finding having purpose and living your purpose is essential, in order to kind of respect yourself, right?
I'm going to expand upon that. Absolutely right. It's like purpose can be a very daunting subject, especially if you're feeling lost, if you're feeling insecure and you're not in the space where you love yourself and you're comfortable enough to pursue what feels light and right for you. It's about getting into alignment. It's about recognizing and realizing what is no longer serving me in work, in relationships, in health, in every single aspect of my life, and deciding that you're choosing to put yourself first and let that go. And whatever was working for you before might not be working for you right now. And it's been comfortable enough to go, okay, I'm going to let that go. So the easiest example of this is if you do a cleanse of your wardrobe every few months and you're like, that outfit, I was really feeling it before and it looked good on me in the past, but right now I'm not feeling it. I no longer love it. It doesn't make me feel fucking amazing. And I'm going to donate it to charity.
Right. I guess I'm looking at more like a career, kind of, making a career shift. And, that's always a little scary, right? But I think, it really comes into alignment with who you are and what, your purpose in the world, which is really, which I think allows you to vibrate at a higher level.
Absolutely.
Right.
I'm going to expand upon that and say, okay, it's the easiest way to discover your purpose in work is get in alignment to living in alignment with your values. Step one, know what your values are, and who you are in the past is different to who you are today. So what are your values? Get really crystal clear on them. What are the most important things in your life right now? And are you living in alignment with that?
Right. Okay. And that will help you kind of drive your purpose for your career.
Absolutely right.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Carlos.
Yes, my question, you will excuse me if I again come back to the issue of profanity. Being authentic, I understand your point, and you really don't use high levels of, you use your language and it's okay, but I don't know why I have intuitively, I think that if you use a language of love, if you use a language of respect for other people, if you use a language that is more approachable, more loving, this will actually connect you better to the other people and connect you better to all the others. If you try to be too authentic or too self-loving, like you say, by using profanity, insults, and all this kind of, this is not going actually to help you quite much. I am not talking about my personal experience because I was not down and up all the time. I was actually, I had my problems in life, and I had many changes in my life. I live in 3 different countries, 3 different continents. But I don't know, I don't buy that by using big words, you are going to provoke and cause a big impact that people will go to their knees to you, to love you in the real sense of the word. I think that the real people actually will find it disgusting. And by the way, the fact that people follow you, that you have a big group of followers, doesn't really mean that you are very high or in very high vibration.
But you know, Carlos,
you will have the
Carlos,
Rohini,
Carlos, you have the option to leave.
Rohini, I didn't interrupt you.
Yeah,
I didn't
sorry.
interrupt you, Rohini. Excuse me.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think actually that motivation has to be a little more self-love. Motivation comes a little more from inside. I don't know. This is a different matter, but if you can address this point too. But the profanity issue, I am not so sure. What do you think about that?
So it's a really good point. It goes back in alignment to your values, right? So one of my highest values, as I spoke about in step 1, is authenticity. So I'm not concerned with building connection, because I know that connection for me is a result of me being authentic. So I used to really, really value what other people think and how other people felt about me. But now what I really, really value is just working on myself. What I really value is having more fun being myself every day. What I really, really value is being authentic. And so if I swear every once in a while, then, and if people don't like that, that's not my concern. And if I'm triggering other people with that, then amazing, because I want to trigger people, because triggering people helps you to release what you're holding on to. Because if somebody swears, that doesn't trigger me, right? And remember, a trigger comes up. When a trigger is revealed, it means that there's an inner wound that needs to be healed. So I'm not concerned with other people like liking or loving me or following me or whatever. No, I want to be as authentic as humanly possible, because what I really want to do is I want to raise my vibration, because I know when I do that, then my light becomes so much brighter. And that's how I'm going to help people. And that's how I'm going to really raise the vibration of the planet and make a difference. And that's what I'm here to do. So yeah, wow. I hope that answers your question.
Very good. Very good response. Wow. That was good, Alexis. That was very good. So anyone else? We got a couple more minutes. Anyone have any additional questions or anything like that, please speak up. If you have a comment or question for Alexis.
How about, to be mindful of everyone's time, I'll take 2 more questions.
I have a question, Alexis.
Yes.
Yeah. So I want to thank you all so much. Thank you, Coach David Lee. Thank you, everyone. I do feel like triggered sometimes, but triggered by violence. But I realize, because I have I have to heal certain wounds, you know, like my inner child, because I've done myself events about these kind of things. So the thing is like, how do we heal that trauma, Alexis? You know, because I realized like some things, they go back to our childhood, things that marked us, so that determine our behavior as adults. So how do we heal from that?
Okay.
So
All right. So with healing, now healing is something that I also do with my clients, right? Now healing is, there's 3 parts. First part, your childhood. Second part, you pick up on energy 7 generations back and forth. Crazy, right? So we imprint from 7 generations back and forth. So sometimes the crap that you're carrying and what you start to get triggered by isn't even your shit. It's stuff from like your great parents, great, whatever. Crazy, right? Example of this. I have a phobia of snakes. I never even saw a snake up until I was 12 years old. Why? Because all the freaking women in my family are afraid of snakes. So I imprinted that fear, that belief. Thirdly, if you believe in this, past lives, karmic wounds, whatever, right? So, and it's all about energy. Because what happens is when you don't release this energy, it gets stuck in your body and it gets stuck in your field, your electromagnetic field, your aura. So every day it's a process to clean and cleanse your aura. It's to release these energies and release these beliefs. There's 3 levels of it. The first level is consciously, right? Like identifying, and we've done the conscious work in here, identifying like what is the story that you're telling yourself? I'm not good enough, I'm unworthy, whatever, right? Second, I'm going to answer this. This is a massive topic. If you want me to help you with this, then reach out to me on socials. I'll put my link in here again. This is something that I'm actually going to be covering in an upcoming program too, in like depth. So the second level is subconscious. What are the beliefs that you have that you're not even aware of, that you've inherited from past lives, your current life, your childhood, generationally? And then the third is, what is the energy? What is the energy that you've absorbed from people, places, and things in your life, in past lives, generationally, that is stuck in your body and in your field? And if you don't release it, it manifests into illness. So it's not something where I can tell you, be like, here's how you do it, because you need to do it in all 3 levels. And sometimes it might be a conscious trick where you're like, cool, caught that, let it go. Sometimes it might be deep energy work. Sometimes it might be embodiment work, like breath work. Sometimes it might be having to go into your subconscious through deep meditation or deep hypnosis. But the first step is identify what is the problem, what is the issue, and how is that issue affecting you in your life? Right? Sarah, this is a massive, massive thing. So are you on Instagram?
Are you asking me, Alexis?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not on Instagram.
You're not on Instagram. Okay. Okay, I'll put a link to my socials, which includes my email. Message me, and then we'll talk further.
Okay. Thanks, Alexis.
Okay. So you might need to consult a psychologist or psychotherapist or a psychiatrist. In my opinion, inner child work surpasses work of a coach. Well, it depends. So inner child work. So that can be, you can work on inner child work with an NLP coach. I'm a rapid transformational therapist, right? So therapist, coaching, hypnosis, like it's a combination of cognitive behavior therapy, psychotherapy, NLP, and what's the 4th one? I can't remember what the other modality is. So I do a lot of work within all of these realms, within all of these fields. Why? Because I've done it, I've received it, and I've done it on different levels. And it's all about what does that person need at that given point in time. And I found the most effective way is if you tackle all 3. Because it's all about ripping out the weed. And it's not about mowing the grass of whatever your issue is. It's not about throwing weed killer on it. It's about ripping at that weed once and for all. So going to the root cause, which is the energy, and releasing that. Because you can understand your issues all you want. You can go to a therapist for years and years and on. Don't get me wrong, I've done it. But that's not going to rip it out. That's not going to get rid of your issue once and for all. All right, one more question, and then we're going to wrap it up.
Gotta wrap it up.
question. What is rapid transformational therapy?
Oh my God, this is all right. Okay, in a nutshell.
Sounds very sexy.
Let's make it quick though.
Okay, rapid transformational therapy, created by Marissa Peer, who is Britain's best therapist, right? So it's a combination of cognitive behavior therapy, hypnotherapy, psychotherapy, and NLP. Cool.
All right.
All right.
Well, thank you. Alexis, give your last little comments and then we'll wrap it up.
Amazing. I want to say thank you so much. You're very welcome for attending. Thanks for putting the time, effort, and energy into yourself, for being here. What I would love to know, so in the next minute, type in the chat box, what did you what did you take away from this? What did you learn from this? And would absolutely love to connect with you on socials. So put in my link to my socials, let me know. You're very welcome.
And with that, we're gonna wrap it up. I just want to thank everyone from Internations for attending. I hope you enjoy it. Alexis will be back in 2 weeks on the 29th, I believe is the date that we are looking at, which is a Tuesday. And hope everyone will be able to attend. One thing I always say about my events that I do is this: nothing is personal. There's nothing personal on this platform. It's an open platform for us as Internations to share other people experience, personalities, and we leave it as that. I mean, I appreciate a lot of people comments, but when it becomes personal, we are not here for that. And sometimes room become uncomfortable. And I believe that when that happens, we should stay and learn and try to figure out why. So just remember, there's nothing personal with these events. Alexis is here not to hurt anybody's feelings. She's here to provide, I believe, a service that is awesome. And that's different. I mean, that's what makes us also unique. And I love that about her, of coming here and doing the events that she does. So I hope I see everyone again. Alexis, keep on coming. It's always great to see you, Sarah and Carlos, you know, and everyone have a good evening, good afternoon where you are, and have a definitely good weekend. Peace.
Peace. Sending you all loads of love. And if I triggered you, you're welcome, because it means you're ready to heal. Love you all.
All right.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for the good.